podcast rolls on, and with Bellator 299 just a week, a little over a week away, I'm excited to welcome for the first time to the podcast. I'm very excited to talk to him. He's a very exciting fighter, the one and only JJ Wilson. Sir, how are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you? Thank you
I'm
for
good.
having me on.
Of course. Thanks for coming on, and hopefully it's not the first and last. So, obviously a big fight here coming up for you. Just kind of talk to me about how this year has been for you. I know this will be your first, competition, your first fight this year. What's 2023 been like for you?
I was meant to fight earlier on this year, and I suffered an injury, and that put me out for a while. But now I'm fully recovered, and I'm ready to go.
Is there a little bit of, I don't want to call it anxiety, but a little bit of like anxiousness to get back in there, and how excited are you to finally get back in there this year?
I'm excited. I'm excited to make some money. It's like I don't if I don't fight, I don't make money. So it's so I'm excited to get back in there, whip some ass, and take home two checks.
Yeah, who wouldn't, right? Especially in your position. At 26 years old and having the record that you have, do you feel any sort of like, all right, I want to move at my pace or I want to go as quickly as possible to rise up the ranks? How do you want to move about your career?
Um, to be honest, I don't really think about it. I just know that I want to be the world champion, and I know to do that I need to win. So it's like I never say no to fights. You can ask Bellator. I've only ever pulled out of one fight, and that was because of a really bad neck injury. Um, I never say no to fights. I back in New Zealand, I was fighting guys on 1 day notice. You know what I mean? I was like, this is what I was born to do. So you know, I know if I win, the bout's gonna come.
Yeah, and with that, obviously there would be a rise in competition. I know, obviously, like you said, coming off an injury, ready to get back in there, ready to get two checks. Do you kind of have it mapped out in your head, kind of how you want to go about the rest of the division, who you want to face next, or you just ready for whoever they send you?
I'm like, send me the champ next. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. Just send me the champ or send me the guy that will make me fight the champ. You know what I mean? So this guy is well ranked seven. He's in the top 10. So if I beat him, my name's in my name is on the board. You know what I mean? I'm on the board. And once you get on the board, if you're winning, you fight up. So I get to fight a guy that's higher ranked. And once you're in the top five, top three, you could have a title shot at any point.
Yeah, and there is a lot of big names on there.
Definitely.
When you come into Bellator 299, you gotta got there. It feels like there's a lot of opportunity for many fighters on this card. There's a few fighters who feel like they may have to protect their ranking, and obviously you're fighting a guy who would be in that position. You want to take his ranking. What can you do in this fight, not only to take his ranking, but cement your place at the top of the division?
And finish it. If I get a TKO finish, a submission finish, or a knockout, that the like he just went 3 rounds with Barrett Primus, the guy who's fighting the champ. So it's like if I go out there and I put this guy out, I submit him, I knock him out, I TKO him, referee stoppage, whatever it is, I'm a force to be reckoned with. They all have to recognize me, and that will automatically jump me up, and my stock will rise, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, kind of talking about where you're from and your fighting style and kind of your attitude towards fighting. What about New Zealand? Kind of gets you in this. I don't care because obviously I don't have to explain the fight game to you, right? But some fighters are so focused or solely focused on social media and call outs and headlines and all that. Certain fighters from certain areas, like those in New Zealand and where you'll be fighting in Ireland, they don't really care. They just want to fight and they want to keep fighting. So, kind of your background, how did that raise you into being the fighter that you are?
I don't know. In New Zealand, they have like I don't know. In New Zealand, you just fight. Like that's what you do. Like I grew up fighting my siblings, fighting at school. I got kicked elementary school. I got kicked out of middle school. I got kicked out of high school. Alternative education courses, all for fighting. So, when I started martial arts, I was like, "Hold on, you guys actually get paid for this? Like, you guys do this for a job?" Like, I was doing this and getting in trouble my whole life. Um, but I don't know. Like, I don't really know. There's not much. I've never really been a social media guy, So, but I definitely need to improve that side of my um that side, because guys like Conor McGregor and guys Sean O'Malley and all those type of guys, they're making money outside of fighting. Where with me, I don't really not a big social media guy. If I don't fight, I don't get a check. So I definitely need to start to incorporate that into me into my life a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's a time and place for it, right? I think if you use it correctly, I think everyone and anyone can really make a living, especially in the fight game, based off their social media. But for me, just sitting back here on this side as a guy sitting outside of the cage, I love seeing and talking to fighters like you, where it's like, hey, I just want to fight. I just want to, like you said, collect two checks, on to the next, and that's it. Those are the fighters I love to talk to, because there's more than just I'm doing it for Instagram likes, I'm doing it for retweets and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
um,
I,
with
I
that,
I could I could care less about the social media aspect of the fight. I just want to go out there and beat the. I just want to be the best in the world, and be the best in the world. You have to beat the best in the world. So I want to go out there and just fuck up everybody.
I love it. I love it. See, like, and I don't know why people wouldn't get on their feet for you. Obviously, you're a very entertaining fighter. With that being said, at Bellator 299, there's going to be plenty of ruckus crowds and people. I think the crowd's going to be drunk by the time you step into the cage. I
It's
don't
gonna
think
be
that's.
great. It's gonna be
um,
great. I
what
feel
is
like I'm
it
at home
like?
again.
What's it what is it like fighting in a crowd with that energy, right? There's so many times you could talk about a fight. And yes, I'm not saying sometimes you go to a fight event and it's not like the crowd is silent. But when you have a crowd like the Dublin crowd, the Bellator Dublin, they're just a different level each and every single time there's an event there. So when you have energy like that for a fighter like yourself, what does that do for you inside the cage? Obviously, you're focused on your opponent, but a crowd like that, I got to think it motivates you a little bit more.
It gives you like extra energy, right? Like, 'cause, you get a little tired. You've been throwing some haymakers. You're trying to knock this guy out, and it's pretty exhausting. And then when the crowd starts going wild, you're like, oh, you start feeling this adrenaline rush. You're like, okay, I'm back. Like, keep making noises. You get this like I don't know. You get like a blood rush through your body. It's the only way I can
Absolutely.
describe it. It's like it's an amazing feeling.
And obviously, you're coming in to take somebody's ranking and put on a show. What's your message to the Dublin crowd and to everyone who will be watching Bellator 299 on September 23rd?
I'm part Irish, so I'm gonna come there. I'm gonna put it down for Ireland. I'm gonna beat up this French guy, and I'm pretty sure French they make croissants, right? I never knew they made fighters. So I'm gonna go out there and put on a show.
Thank you for the best quote of the year on this podcast. I am going to run with that probably for the next 3 years. Anytime I see or talk about anything French, I'm going to say that. So thank you for that. You listen, we might need that on a t-shirt for you after the fight. If you go in and do what you expect to do. Um, or you could have made the Frenchman a croissant himself. We'll see how that plays out on September 23rd. But in all seriousness, just a couple more here for you. What is the timeline then for you for the rest of this year? I know that obviously this is your first fight. How do you want to attack and approach 2024?
So hopefully we can get another one in. If not, that's okay. But by the end of 2024, I want to be fighting for the number one contender or fighting for the belt. So I either want a title shot 2025 or end of 2024.
Well, listen, I'm going to be a little biased here and say, they did just announce Bellator 301 in my backyard of Chicago. So that's in mid-November. So if you could make quick work on September 23rd, I don't know how quick of a turnaround you want, but the States would love to have you.
Yeah, I would love it, man. That'd be sick. Whenever I'll turn around and fight the following week, I can make weight because I moved up weight division, so it wouldn't be too difficult. We do catch weight. I don't mind. Let's do it. Let's run
JJ,
it.
JJ Wilson, thank you so much for the time, man. It's been a really fun time talking to you. Hope we could talk after your fight. Wish you all the best. September 23rd. I know you're looking to stake your claim into the top of the division. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, man. You have a nice day.